Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Destiny's Princess. A war story, a love story. And at the end of the last episode, I totally forgot that we still had the sequel and date scenario for Kotaro. So, yeah, we still have one more video with him until we move on to the next person. And right now, we're at a three-way tie with the guy, so I'm not sure who comes next. Well, hopefully one more person will vote soon. So let's check out these extras for him. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Will it be a real sequel, or is there going to be another in the middle of the story thing? Whisper in the Red Sky. One day, he secretly sneaked it in, a very important letter sent from another country. Another time, a note was fastened to a bird that had visited my window. Oh, he was sending me little love notes. He's so elaborate every time. I took the letter off of the pigeon's foot, and it chirped. Oh, that's right. Hold on for a minute. I took some grains from a pouch in the corner of my room and gave it to the pigeon. At the end of the first letter I'd received, it told me to feed it in return. The pigeon shook its head and ate the food happily. Oh. I smiled as I watched the pigeon and slowly opened the letter.
Princess, are you in good spirits? Right now I'm in a coastal town.
A coastal town? I looked out the window. How far would I have to travel to reach the ocean? I heard it goes on forever, but was it true? I'd heard it's salty, but why was that? It was a brand new world to me.
The coastal children are all tanned black, and they swim like fish. I've even picked up a pretty shell. I'll bring it to you next time we meet.
Ah, that must be the shell that was on our windowsill in the main story. Unexpectedly, Kotaro was a quick writer. His characters were long and elegant, but he'd skipped out on writing proper greetings. And how long would it take to go to the ocean from here? After I finished reading the letter, I carefully folded it. I then put it in the small box with paper on it with my other prized possessions. The pretty gemstones were gathered along with Kotaro's letters. It had been a few months since the castle had fallen, and Kotaro had left on his journey. I was sleeping in the building that had escaped being burned down in the central bailey. We didn't plan on rebuilding the castle. Sometime prior, Kotaro had visited me once a month. Now, he'd left on a long journey, and I hadn't seen him for 2 whole months. I was lonely, and I tried my best to finish things up quickly so I could be with him. Kotaro, I'd been proposed to. It was from the second son of the Kyogoku clan that was left in charge of the neighboring country. He had a good personality, good looks, and the vassals were all excited. But I turned him down, of course. It was tough, though. Kotaro never showed up when I needed to talk to him. Well, I'll overcome it somehow. Princess, I bought you some tea. I heard someone coming and panicked. The pigeon flapped its wings and left. Come in. The handmaid held a lantern, and when she saw the letter in my hand, she smiled broadly. Oh, another letter has arrived? Well, yes. How faithful of him. I'd only told her about the letters and the person I had feelings for. I'd even told her that I would leave as soon as things settled down here. But I didn't tell her that we'd already started a relationship and that he'd come to my room. It was a bit improper for an unwed couple to be doing those things. Where is he now? He's playing with some children somewhere near the coast. I'm sure he's become completely tan by now. Yeah. Huh? There's a pigeon at the window. And when she said that, I heard the sound of wings fluttering. Oh? I came to the window, and another pigeon different than the prior one had come. There was another letter on its leg. Is it P.S.? Is it another letter? Yes, I wonder why. He'd faithfully sent me letters, but I'd never seen 2 come so close together. I tilted my head and opened the letter. There was only 1 line written. I tilted my head again.
What in the world is going on?
That was my line. I showed the handmaid the letter. Say, what do you think this means? I have no idea. While we spoke to each other, the sound of fluttering feathers continued. Oh, Princess, another one! What is it this time? Another pigeon visited the window, but this one was light brown. I took the letter from its foot, and it started to clean itself. I opened it up, and there were slightly messy letters on it.
What's your answer?
You really gotta ask that, Kotaro? How does he expect me to respond? I tilted my head, and beside me, the handmaid was confused as she pointed to the window. Another one. How many pigeons does he have? But Princess, look! I looked to what she was pointing to, and my jaw dropped. What's going on? What is it, a bunch of pigeons? Pigeons fluttered to my window, one after another. Sometime later, I went back to my room alone. I dropped the bundle of letters. A little while ago, there had been a pile of feathers on the ground. It was a mess. I'd finally finished giving them food and cleaning up after their mess after taking the letters. I was finally able to inspect the contents of the letters. For the time being, I agreed with the handmaid's idea. The pigeons must have gotten lost in a storm and loitered around too long. That was why the letters got mixed up and were difficult to read. Well then, what is Kotaro so flustered about? Do you really have to ask? Come on. I opened every single letter.
Please, answer me quickly. What's going on? I'm worried. I want to hear what's happened.
He needed to calm down. I wanted to tell that to his pile of letters. Kotaro, how many pigeons did you tame? He's really good with animals. Oh, I love him so much. He didn't write the dates on his letters, but taking how many there were into account, Kotaro would probably send me a letter every day. So, where's the main one? I swear. I continued to read, and after the 10th one...
I forgot to tell you, but if you put your reply on this pigeon's leg, it'll deliver it to me.
Oh, too late now. I wanted to fall on my face. You should have told me that sooner. Then again, Kotaro couldn't have figured out that it was a situation like this. Coo, coo. I heard a pigeon cooing carefree by the window. There were more, huh? I sighed, stood up, and took the letter from the pigeon's foot. It had already gotten used to it. Let's see, how many letters does that make? Based on how much black ink showed through, I could tell it was a lengthy letter and opened it.
I've written you a letter earlier, but I can't stand here doing nothing. I've heard you were proposed to by the second son of the Kyogoku clan. Is that true? Based on word of mouth, he's a good man. You told me you'd wait for me, but I'm worried. When things like this happen, oftentimes the people around you get excited. In any case, please tell me what's going on. From the coastal town, Kotaro. I finally understand the method behind his madness. The pigeon who loitered around the longest was probably the first one sent out. Kotaro must have been shocked when he'd heard about the proposal and had written a letter. He'd realized he'd forgotten to tell me how to reply and sent another letter. No reply came, so he wrote again and again and again. It was something like that. I swear, you're such a worrywart. I complained to myself and opened the old letter once more. It was mostly just scribbles. I'll come to you soon.
That was written there. He'll come to me soon? Did that mean Kotaro was heading over to me? Princess, dinner is ready. Come in. I quickly put the scattered letters away. The handmaid looked at the cooing pigeon at the window and smiled awkwardly. Another one came. Yeah, it's so embarrassing. Have you figured out what he wanted to say? Yes, for the most part anyway. As I answered her, I opened the lid of my bowl. I found a piece of paper. Kotaro has arrived. Where had the soup gone? I mean... Princess, what is it? Nothing at all. I panicked and put the lid back on. Of course I'd forgotten to take the letter from it. Oh no, I forgot to bring the pickled vegetables Masamune had made. I'll bring them this instant. She disappeared, and I continued looking forward and called to him. Kotaro, you're here, aren't you?
Hey.
Kotaro, oh god, that outfit again. Kotaro appeared as he'd spoken. He looked a bit sunburned. It had been a month since I'd seen him. I was glad at the amount of letters I'd gotten, but seeing him in the flesh was much better. We exchanged looks. A million emotions were going through my chest.
Long time no see.
Yeah. Kotaro came closer to me. If this had been like the previous times, we would start to embrace each other, but there was something I had to say before doing any of that. Kotaro... Where's my soup?
That's the first thing you're going to say to me?
It's important. I heard today's soup was a fish broth and got excited.
Sorry, but I ate it.
That was rude. What? I was heartbroken and my shoulders dropped.
Hey, I'm sorry about that. But more importantly, did my letters arrive? I have a lot of things I want to ask.
Are you going to...
What?
Are you going to make up for what you just did?
Saya!
My hair was disheveled, and Kotaro stepped back. The price for eating my food is great. I won't forgive you.
Uh-huh. No, you don't have to get so mad from a single bowl of soup.
Did you not hear me say that I've been looking forward to it?
Oh, okay, I've got it. I'm sorry. Please, forgive me just this once. More importantly, Princess, I have something I want to ask.
I sharply averted my eyes. It's my dinner time right now. Sit there quietly until I'm done.
Oh, come on.
Princess, I bought the pickled vegetables. Okay. Kotaro panicked and hid his face. I smiled at her as she came in. I was glad he'd rushed over because he'd been worried, but he had to be properly punished for being so troublesome and eating my soup. Well, for the time being. Don't mess with Saya's soup, apparently. I thought I'd let him take his time and dote over me after I finished my dinner. No, that's the end. It was too short. I thought it was going to be cuter and go on longer. Oh well, it was cute. Alright, let's go on a date with him now. Sweet Trap. It was the time when I'd gotten used to Kotaro visiting me day and night. Still, it annoys me. I was in my room alone and muttered my complaints to the dagger. He always astonishes me every time. Isn't there anything I can do to get even with him? Of course there is. Why don't you lay down traps in the places he's most likely to enter and leave from? That doesn't sound too bad. Really? Oh, Saya! It really didn't sound bad. Kotaro would be surprised to find a trap when he snuck in. I became excited just thinking about it. Sometimes you do say worthwhile things. I'll do it. Well, I guess they'll have to be harmless traps, huh? Hehe, I'll help you with it. Hehe. Giggling with the dagger. The dagger and I came up with a mutual understanding. We quickly thought up a plan. I'm fine with setting up the trap, but where does he sneak in from every time? He was always so elusive. The places he could have used were endless. I didn't have a clue. From the hallway? The window? Or does he come from under the roof or from the floor? They're all realistic possibilities. I guess it would be better to booby-trap the entire room then. Now that that was settled, I needed to figure out what I was going to set up. Then again, I don't have anything I can use as a trap. Why don't you scatter the remains of a dead fish? Fish again? No way! That would just make my room stink. Even if we had any fish, anyone else would eat it up. Our provisions are limited. Then why don't you scatter needles everywhere? If I did that, Kotaro would get injured. Is there anything wrong with hurting him? Of course it's wrong. This was no good. The small demon's way of thinking was off. I've got it. Something finally struck me, and I went to the kitchen. I took fistfuls of azuki beans. I scattered them throughout my room. I put my hand on my hip and was satisfied as I gazed at my bean-filled room. No matter where he walks, he'll slip and fall.
Whoa!
I imagined Kotaro falling over and getting what he deserved. Oh, come on, he's a ninja. He probably looks out for these kind of things. Considering they were azuki beans, I could sweep them up and eat them when I was done. Perfect! Oh, good lord. We're probably going to fall on them ourselves. I giggled and happily crawled into bed. That night, I smelled something drifting into my room and awoke. Huh? I slowly got up while still half asleep.
Hey, princess.
He cheerfully lifted up his hand as he sat in front of a ceramic stove. He's cooking the beans, isn't he? Kotaro, what are you doing?
I'm making red bean soup.
Red bean soup?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You shouldn't leave your room so untidy. I swept it all up. Next time, you'll have to do it yourself.
What? I opened my eyes completely and looked around. Not a single bean was left on the floor. Kotaro was using my ceramic stove without my permission and boiled the azuki beans.
It was really tough. I even borrowed the kitchen stove and boiled it over and over. Great, it's done. Time to eat.
No, you see?
It's so good. This red bean soup is amazing.
It really looked delicious. Let me have a bite. I couldn't bring myself to say those words. Oh, this is so aggravating. The next morning, I squeezed my pillow and shouted. Maybe ninjas have night vision. I thought that would make him slip and fall. Yes, indeed. That man doesn't let his guard down. Don't yes, indeed me. I have to think of something else. Then, why don't you try out this kind of plan? What is it? What kind of plan? Listen closely. He might fall for this one. That night, I went into the closet and pulled my knees close to me. I secretly viewed the room. I put a round pillow on my bed as a replacement. I'd even borrowed a wig to make it look like I was sleeping. It was a masterpiece. This time it's perfect. All I need to do is turn over the blanket.
Ugh!
I imagined Kotaro getting surprised and snickered. This time my plan was perfect. Now all I have to do is wait. I held my knees and waited for several hours. I let out a yawn and muttered to myself, Kotaro sure is late. Maybe he's not coming today.
Did you call?
How long has he been out there? His voice came from beside me. I timidly looked over and could see his figure in the dim light that seeped through the door. His hand covered my mouth.
Shh! If you shout, someone's gonna come here. Oh, enough. I don't understand what you're saying.
Kotaro took his hand back. Kotaro, when did you...
For quite some time now.
Why didn't you say anything?
Well, I thought you were playing hide and go seek. So, I thought I would hide with you.
Don't give me that! Geez, another failure. I felt weak as I let go of the strength in my body.
By the way...
For some reason, Kotaro started to slowly come toward me. Huh? What? What is it?
Well... I was just thinking about how we're alone in this hidden room. Princess, you smell kinda good.
He started to sniff me in close proximity. I panicked and rushed outside. The next day, I visited Hanbei's room.
A way to scare someone.
Yes, I was sure you'd have a good plan. It was foolish of me to rely on the small demon in the dagger's ideas. I should have relied on someone wise from the beginning.
Why do you want to do something like that?
I was sitting formally with my fist on my knees and looked into the distance and smiled. Please don't ask. I swear, I was so furious. I'd failed yesterday and the day before that. They say the third time's the charm. This time I would succeed, no matter what.
If you say that, then I won't question you too much. That's it.
After thinking for a bit, Hanbei suddenly opened his mouth.
All people have their strengths and weaknesses. I don't know who you're trying to scare, but it's vital that you find his strengths and weaknesses.
I get it. I know he loves dogs, but that doesn't really help, does it? Now that he brought it up, I didn't know what Kotaro's weakness was. Setting a trap and using a body double was useless. I had to find the things he disliked. Hanbei, I understand. I'll start investigating right this instant.
I'm not sure what you're going to do, but good luck.
Thanks. Well then, how should I investigate? I thought to myself as I walked around. It was unexpected, but an opportunity presented itself.
That's why I'm not very good with it.
I could hear Kotaro's voice from beyond the hallway, coming from the courtyard. It was unusual for him to come out into the open like that. No, but more importantly, he just mentioned something he's not good with. I walked forward stealthily and got close enough to see Kotaro. I then hid. It looked like Kotaro was chatting with Yukimura and Masamune.
Oh, that's so unusual. You don't like something like that, huh? Yeah, I've never liked it, so it's been quite difficult. But that is surprising. Normally everyone loves it. I didn't think anyone could hate it. Right? It's only natural for a guy to like those kind of things. Could it be Kotaro or you?
What are they talking about? This doesn't sound right at all. This does not sound like a proper conversation for a lady to hear.
Oh, no. I'm not particularly interested in that. Well, I have my reasons.
While I was hiding, I stamped to my feet. Come on, stop chuckling and say what your weakness is already. My thoughts must have reached them because Yukimura answered in his place.
But disliking the female body.
The female body?
And when they're naked?
Naked?
Just now, did you hear someone?
I panicked and left immediately. I ran into my room. Is this kind of a trick? As for him to get to see me naked, he wanted me to think that he was scared of that, so like, I would wait in the room naked to scare him or something? That was so shocking. I let out a sigh. Nevertheless, Kotaro's weakness was the female body? That's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. He'd been so close to me last night. There was no way that was his weakness. Maybe he figured out I was eavesdropping. He'd wanted to deceive me, so he made that up on the spot. No, but after thinking about it, Kotaro never puts his hands on me whenever he'd visited. Even though he'd said he'd come to feast his eyes on me. He always acted so childishly. I guess it was just his way of flattering me. I thought that was all it was. I never thought it was strange. Maybe he really didn't like women's bodies. If that's the case, things are quite simple. I would lie— Oh, come on! You're gonna fall for that? Seriously, Saya? You even thought about it! I would lie in wait naked before he came into my room. Kotaro would be surprised, and I would be completely satisfied. I shook my head with vigor. No, he had to be deceiving me. That had to be the case. But then again, I didn't have any other options. You could just let it go. Let it go, let it go. Come on, Saya, seriously. You know this is a bad idea. I wouldn't lose anything if he saw me. Your decency, maybe? I couldn't know until I tried it. I put my hand on my belt. I untied it and took off my clothes. I heard someone laugh softly. Huh?
Oh no.
Someone was looking in from behind my door. Kotaro! In the end, I had to give up on trying to scare Kotaro. It was a trick. Oh, good lord. Well, whoever's in the next episode is, at the moment, a surprise to me, but, you guys will probably know what it is before the video comes out. I hope the rest of the guys are going to be more along the Kotaro line and less along the Hanbei line. Oh god, I hope nobody else has two bad endings like he did. Alright, well, I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye, everybody.